Okay, so there's some technical difficulties going on right now. I don't know what is causing them, but they should be fixed. They should be fixed. I'm pretty sure they should be fixed right now. I'm hoping they're fixed because let me see. They should be fixed. Yeah. I can hear myself. What if I Okay, let me see. Because there's something going on here that's weird. Creator Studio, live streaming. Come on. Still not watching this. So. We're not receiving data from your encoder. You are live. So. Okay. Let's just stop this other stream so nobody goes there. I'm going to share, copy this, and then paste it on a comment in this other section. Okay, so I pasted the link in the other video. I don't know what was going on. There were some technical difficulties. Probably because I screamed too loud into my mic, but whatever. So ultimately what I was trying to say is that Ronaldo doesn't deserve that red. Never in a million years does he deserve a red card of such manner. It's unjust to me. They should appeal the red card, and hopefully he can play at Manchester United because I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for him to go back to Old Trafford and play. That's all I'm waiting for. Honestly, that's all I'm waiting for. But aside from that, I want to talk about my Champions League favorites after week 1. I know it's really early. It's really early. It's extremely early. But I want to talk about my favorites going into week 2 to win the Champions League. So right now, these are Champions League final matchups that I see as of right now. I see Liverpool versus Barca or versus Juventus. I have Bayern versus Barca or versus Juventus, and I have Barca versus Juventus. I don't have Liverpool versus Bayern for the simple fact that I think they're going to get each other in one of the early rounds. But I wouldn't be disappointed from a Bayern-Liverpool final. I would love to see a Bayern-Liverpool final. But any of these finals would be appealing to me. The reason why I don't have Real Madrid there is not because they don't have Cristiano Ronaldo. But it's because when a team has a title and they're defending that title and they keep defending it every year, there's such a thing as the championship boredom, where, believe it or not, you get bored, you lose motivation, you get lazy. Simple, the Warriors. They got bored, they weren't motivated, in the season at least. When it comes to playoffs, that's a different story. When it comes to the quarterfinals and semifinals for Real Madrid, that's a different story. But right now in the group stage, they're nonchalant. They don't care what's happening. And it's championship fever. It's champions laziness. I don't have them up there for that simple reason. But that's all I have to say about that. And so far for the MVP, I know there's no MVP award in the Champions League. I know there's no Ballon d'Or for Champions League, best player, such, anything of that sort. But so far, the best players in the Champions League are Messi, Isco, Pogba, Mane, Salah, Pjanic, Lewandowski, and Dembele. Ousmane Dembele, by the way. Those are the best players in the Champions League right now. Ronaldo would be up here if he probably if he would have played in that match, which he didn't deserve the red in. He was playing well up to that point. I believe he would have scored. I believe he would have scored at least one, maybe two. I don't think a hat trick, but he would have scored 100% in my book. He was playing well. The whole team was playing well. That's pretty much all I had to say about that topic. But, excuse me, I want to move on and I want to talk about my favorite part of the stream today, which is the NFL, the power rankings going into week 3. And speaking of week 3, we have a game going on right now. As I will just give you a quick little update on that score. The Jets are beating the Browns 14-3. In the third quarter, the Browns are all 1-1. The Jets are 1-1. I actually thought the Browns were going to win this game, but Sam Darnold, that's Sam Darnold for you. So, anyways, I'm gonna give my top 10 only because if I were to talk about all 32 teams, this stream would go on until tomorrow. Top 10 teams in the rankings, power rankings right now. The Rams at 2-0, the Jags at 2-0, the Chiefs at 2-0, the Buccaneers at 2-0, the Vikings at 1-0-1, the Pats at 1-1, the Packers at 1-0-1, the Eagles at 1, the Bengals at 2-0, and the Falcons at 1-1. So it's first Rams, second Jags. Again, I'll repeat it slowly. First, the Los Angeles Rams. Second, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Third, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Third, the Kansas City Chiefs. Fourth, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fifth, the Minnesota Vikings. Sixth, the New England Patriots. Seventh, the Green Bay Packers. Eighth, the Philadelphia Eagles. Ninth, the Cincinnati Bengals. And 10th, the Atlanta Falcons. Now, this is obviously power rankings change from week to week. One team will never remain atop the power rankings unless they're the best team in the NFL. It's plain and simple as such. But from 2 to 10 and beyond, you will never, ever, ever see the power rankings be the same. Never. You will never see the power rankings from week to week. Never the same. You will never see the power rankings as I just named the teams like this next week. So I just want to talk about a little bit why I ranked each team as such. So first, I have the Los Angeles Rams. I just want to repeat that I have them going 14-2. I still believe they're going 14-2, especially the way they're playing, especially with Jared Goff playing his second year Jared Goff. If we get second year Jared Goff, the Los Angeles Rams are Super Bowl contenders. Not just NFC contenders, not just contenders to come out of the NFC, but contenders to win it all. They rank in offense, let me see, what do I have? 7th in offense, averaging 398 yards per game. They average 23 first yards per game. Third and medium, 12 third and mediums. Third yard attempts, 26. Third down attempts, 26. Third down percentages, 46%. Fourth and medium, 1. Fourth down attempts, 3. Penalties, 13. Turnovers, +3. That's not that good. Points per game, 33.5 per game. We're only 2 weeks in, but the Rams, it's weird for me to say that they're number 1 on my list, and they've kind of been under the radar. Mostly because of Pat Mahomes and Ryan Fitzmagic. But aside from offense, they rank 3rd in the league in total defensive yards per game, only allowing 266, only behind the Washington Redskins and the Baltimore Ravens. And these are total scrimmage yards. This isn't just passing or rushing yards, because rushing, they're 5th, and passing, they're not even top 5. So we're not going to talk about that. So as I mentioned, for them to keep this going, their defense has to keep playing the way they're playing. And Jared Goff has to remain as second-year Jared Goff. If we get anything besides second-year Jared Goff, I'm sorry, they're not going to win. They're not going to the Super Bowl. None of that is going to happen. So now we move on from that. We go to my second place in the rankings, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I am a big fan of the Jacksonville Jaguars and what they're going to do this season. I'm a big fan of them last season. I thought they should have beat the Patriots last season. They were too young. Jalen Ramsey was too cocky. On offense, they ranked 9th in the league. Not much to say there. Keenan Cole is actually really, really good at the start. Blake Bortles is showing off. He's not the best quarterback in the league by any means, but he's showing off. They beat the Patriots? Yes, they did. They did beat the Patriots. Keep crying. They're not going to the Super Bowl this year. Anyways, they beat the Patriots. They're 7th in the league in defense, 9th in the league in offense, top 10 in both offense and defense. Blake Bortles is playing not out of his mind, but he's playing very good. They still have Leonard Fournette in the backfield, who has missed a couple of games. Missed a couple of practices, but let's hope he's okay. Keenan Cole is doing really good. That pass rush is amazing. They probably have the best pass rush in the league, if not one of the best. Their top 5. They could be the best team in the league power ranking wise next week. We'll have to see after this Sunday though. Kansas City Chiefs, they've really grown on me because I didn't think they were going to be good. I didn't think they were going to be as good as they are. I didn't think they're going to be as good as they I didn't think they were going to be as good as they are. I don't think they're going to go to the AFC Championship. I don't think they're going to come out of the AFC, but they're really, really good. Let me just say that. Patrick Mahomes is showing out, bro. 10 touchdowns in his first 2 games. Then you have Tyreek Hill. Oh, my God. Then you have Kareem Hunt in the backfield. Oh, my God. Then you have Travis Kelce, a tight end. Oh, my God. Then you have Sammy Watkins at the wideout. Oh, my God. What more do you want from this team? Then they play great defense. Just kidding. They don't play great defense. This is what really surprised me, but I still put them 3rd on my list. They're dead last in defense in the league. They allow 32 points per game. They allow 508 yards per game. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's terrible. That's like what Fitzpatrick is averaging right now, man. God. Very, very bad on defense right now. They're going to pick it up. They're not going to stay 32nd in the league all season. If you ask me, they're going to be a top 15 in the league by the end of the season if they want to compete for a Super Bowl. But right now, they're 3rd on my list. I really, really like them. I like what they've been doing. I'm a big fan of Patrick Mahomes. He has a cannon of an arm, bro. A cannon of an arm. Pick him up on your fantasy, bro. Pick him up. That's all I have to say about them. So then we go 4th to the Tampa Buccaneers. I don't see them as Super Bowl contenders, but they're really going to cause problems for the other 3 teams in the division, the Saints, the Falcons, and Panthers. Oh my God, this is a surprise. The Saints should be 2-0 right now. Honestly, the Saints could be 2-0. The Saints could be 1-1, which they are. Or the Saints could be 0-2 because they should have lost that game to the Browns. But we're not talking about the Saints because they didn't make my top 10. And they're my team, so don't be looking at my biases. So on offense, total yards per game, they average the most total yards per game at 482 yards per game. They average the most passing yards at 405 yards per game, ranking top 5 in rushing yards. On defense, they're 31st in the league, so they're right there behind the extra hot Kansas City Chiefs. What's up with these teams playing offense but not defense? They almost choked the win against the reigning champs last week. They deserve that win. I raise my cup to you, sir. You guys deserve that win. They were 21-7 at one point. Amazing. Tampa, as I said, they're ranked 31st in the league. They allow 30 points per game, 134 scrim plays, 443 yards per game that they're allowing. That's still less than the Kansas City Chiefs, mind you. And also, that's still less than, that's not less than anybody else. But that's still less than the Kansas City Chiefs, mind you. And to make up for it, they are the best team offensively in the league at total offense yards per game. But who's to say? Do they keep remaining hot? Who knows? Do you keep playing Fitzpatrick? Yes. You keep him, and it's not even about because he's playing good right now. Well, obviously it is because he's playing good. You want a good quarterback who's playing good. You want a good quarterback who's playing really, really good. But what's more than that is you want a quarterback who's professional, a quarterback who has chemistry with this team. I haven't seen the Fitzpatrick interview where he was wearing Deshaun Jackson's clothes. Watch it. That is chemistry. That is brotherhood. And he has to show Jameis Winston a little bit about that. Jameis Winston needs to grow up. Is he still the future of the franchise? Absolutely. Absolutely. Does he still deserve to be the future of the franchise? Absolutely. Does he need to sit out the rest of the season, even though he's going to come off of a 3-game suspension? Yes, absolutely. Play Fitzpatrick. Keep going with Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick won you 2 games against the Saints and the reigning champions, and he's probably going to win you another one against the Steelers this upcoming week. Do not, by any means, show Fitzpatrick that you do not appreciate him. Show him that you have all faith in him 100%. Cowboys and Seahawks, don't at me. Oh, he said at me. He didn't say don't at me. He said at me. At Ace Lokes, which, by the way, his name is Eddie. At Eddie, Cowboys are not better than the Seahawks. I'm just kidding, bro. I kid. I'm actually doing a rule where I am not going to judge teams until after week 3. Power rankings is different because power rankings goes weekly. It changes weekly. So power rankings doesn't count. But I'm not going to definitively say this team is going to the Super Bowl or this team is better than that team until the 3-game rule. We're giving 3-game rules out here. So Pat Mahomes, you better not throw 5 interceptions next game because then I'm not sure what to think of you because you have 10 touchdowns on 1 point, but then 5 interceptions in 1 game. You're going to confuse me. Just get more touchdowns next game. Sorry to rant, but anyways, there goes Tampa, 4th on my list. 5th on my list, the Vikings. They should be 2-0. But boy, that Aaron Rodgers is something, isn't he? Boy, that Aaron Rodgers is something. Best quarterback of all time, by the way. Don't at me. What was I going to say? Minnesota Vikings, an offense. They're 5th in offense, total yards per game. 411 yards per game. They're 5th in passing yards, and they don't rank top 5 in rushing, but they have they went out and they got a quarterback. So, of course, you're going to be one of the best passing teams in the league. You have to be. It's just how it goes. So, the Vikings, they score on defense. They get scored on 22 points per game. They're top 15 in the league, by the way. They allow 339 yards per game. Not bad, but not good. They need to get that defense better because they are one of the best defenses, one of the best pass rushers, one of the best pass rushing teams in the league. So I want to see better stats here. I want to see a top 5 team by the end of the season. But like I said, we're giving a 3-game rule. And I feel like they only have a better quarterback. Oh, you're crazy. You're not crazy. Sorry. I didn't mean that. You're not crazy because they do have a good quarterback. But their defense is on point. Their defense is third. Their pass rush especially. Their secondaries, it could be better. Their linebackers, they're not bad. But their pass rush is amazing. One of the top 5 pass rushing teams in the league. So if they're the top 5 in the league, I want to see them being top 5 in defense in the league. Specifically for rush yards allowed. I don't want to see them allowing 200, 300 rush yards. I want to see them allowing 50 to 80. The most I will allow you is 100 if you have a bad day. I do not want to see 200, 300 rushing yards. I don't want to see that. So that's my 5th on the list. 6th, I have Francisco, your favorite team, even though you're a bandwagon. The New England Patriots. On offense, they're 20th in the league. The only reason they're 6th on my list is because they have Tom Brady. And a lot of the times, I know a lot of people think, who haven't seen him play, they go, oh, well, why is he the GOAT? I'm one of them because all I know is that Tom Brady is one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Arguably one of the best, if not the best. So, but let's think about it. Tom Brady has had wide receivers who are Pro Bowlers, who go all pro, and then they leave and they don't do anything. Bill Belichick, before Tom Brady, was 4-12. I don't think he's missed the playoffs in a good while. So Tom Brady's the sole reason for the Patriots being this high on the list. They rank 20th in offense. They score 23 points a game, averaging 340 yards per game on defense. They give up 400 yards per game, and they give up 25 points per game. That's why they're 1-1. But most of this has to do with the Jags, especially because New England won its first game. So the Jaguars are what really hit the averages for the Patriots, defense and offense. But like I said, three-game rule. The Pats are going to get better. They're still going to win their division. No problem. 7th on my list, I have the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers are a field goal away from being 2-0 and probably being 5th on this list? Maybe 5th on this list. Maybe trading spots with the Vikings, honestly. Packers, 17th in offense, 24th in defense. They shut down Stephon Diggs for the most part. All I heard of Stephon Diggs in that game was a 75-yard catch, which, by the way, only happened because the Green Bay Packers rookie corners got injured and came off the field. If not, Stephon Diggs was contained in that game. He wasn't stopped. He wasn't shut down, but he was contained. You can't stop an amazing player. You can't stop Aaron Rodgers. You can't stop LeBron James. You can't stop Lionel Messi. You can't stop these people, but you can contain them. You can sure as hell contain them. 1,000% you can contain them. They average 360 yards per game on offense, allowing 387 per game on defense. They score 26.5 per game on offense, allowing 26 per game on defense. So, it's even. It cancels out, which would make sense because they won their first game, but they tied their next game. What's more to say about this is that penalties are killing them on offense. They have 126 penalty yards, as well as on defense. They have 105 penalty yards on offense. They have 4 fumbles and 1 lost, forcing 2 fumbles on defense, and they lost 1. And that's pretty much all to say from there. On 8th on my list are the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's just talk about what has to be talked about. Carson Wentz is coming back. It's a love-hate for me. Love because they weren't going to make the playoffs without him. And hate because we play him this season, and I wanted him to be injured until he played us. Or after he played us, excuse me. But we're still going to beat them, by the way. Saints for life, who dat nation. But they're 8th on the list for the sole purpose that 1 loss doesn't send you all the way to 20th in the NFL. They're still better than the Saints, at least up to this point. They still played better than the Bengals. They still played better than, let me see. Who else do I have on this list? They still played better than the Falcons. They still played better than the Panthers. They still played better than the Chargers. They still played better than the Broncos. They still played better than, who else is playing good? The Broncos, the Raiders, who are 0-2, by the way. They still play better than the Jets, than the Browns. They're better than these teams still. So they're not going to drop all the way down. They're still better than the Niners. They're still better than these teams. I don't like what I'm seeing from them on their defense. 19th in the league. I want to see them top 10 in the league. Allowing 19 per game, yeah, but they average 360 yards per game, 179 penalty yards. They average 26. That's just time of possession. On the defense, they allow 26 minutes on time of possession per game. I don't like what I'm seeing from their defense, especially because they're supposed to be one of the best defenses in the league, if not the best. There's a lot of great defenses out there. Let me tell you, there's a lot of great defenses out there. A lot. A ton. And the Eagles are one of them. But they deserve to be higher in this list. On this list of defense. Not on this list of power rankings, because they're fine where they are for power rankings. But for defense, they should be higher. No question in my mind. No doubt. On offense, they don't have their star quarterbacks, so that's understandable. When he comes back, their offense is going to go up. It's going to be top 15 in the league, if not top 10 in the league. I'm aiming for top 12 for them, so you can get that mid-ground of 10 and 15. But they're only averaging 322 yards per game as of right now. Points per game, 19. They're in low-scoring games as of right now. It's not good at all. It's really boring to watch. They're supposed to be the defending champions, and I'm really, really bored of watching them, which is a problem. But here I have them as 8th on the list, and then 9th on the list. It might be controversial for some, but I have the Bengals at 9th on the list. And let me tell you why. The Bengals are in a position this season to win their division. And for the most part, it's because of who's in their division. So you have the Bengals, the Ravens, the Browns, and the Steelers. The Browns are going to make a playoffs. They just beat the Ravens, proving they're better than the Ravens. And the Steelers are imploding. Le'Veon Bell hasn't came back. Antonio Brown sent out a subliminal tweet that said, "Trade me." Now, admittedly, if I said it like that, it's taken out of context. It's taken out of context if I say it like that. So they said Antonio Brown, one of the former people in the Steelers organization, he no longer works there, not because of this tweet. He stopped working there for a while. But he said Antonio Brown is a system quarterback. He was made by Ben Roethlisberger. He's made good by Ben Roethlisberger. Now, first of all, that is 100% wrong. Who's to say that Antonio Brown didn't make Ben Roethlisberger? Who's to say that? Now, Antonio Brown's the best wideout in the league. 100%, no debate there. 100,000 million, whatever you want to. There's no denying that he's the best wideout in the league. He didn't show up for practice on Monday, and after that tweet saying he's a system wide receiver, they said, would he even be good in another team? And he said, trade me and find out. Now, this isn't him saying, I want to trade. I don't want to be on this team anymore. That's him saying, oh, you think I suck? You think I'm a system wide receiver? Why don't you trade me and see how I do on another team? By the way, he would ball on any team. Let's just get that out of the way. He would ball on any given team. Doesn't matter. He is the best in the league. So aside from that, the Steelers implode. The Browns aren't going to make the playoffs. The Ravens, they could make the playoffs, but they have to get past the Bengals at this point. And the Bengals, as I see it, are the best team in the AFC North. And just to go on from that, a quick look at their schedule. They play the Panthers next. The Panthers are coming off of an L, and then they play the Falcons. So these next two games are going to be really, really, really difficult and really challenging, and are going to be are going to help me in deciding the 3-game rule to see if the Bengals will make the playoffs or not. But as of right now, they're 9th on my list. I like what they're doing offensively. They're top 20. Defensively, they're 27th. But there's better teams on this list with worse defenses and worse offenses, such as, I don't know, the Buccaneers, who have a worse offense, and the Patriots, who have a worse defense. So now we go to the 10th on the list. And this one was hard for me because there's 3 teams that I wanted to put there, maybe even 4. It was the Falcons, the Panthers, the Saints, and the Steelers. Those are the 4 teams who I wanted to put there. And even after the Steelers, it might have been the Cowboys. And even after the Cowboys, it could have even been the 49ers. But the ones I considered the most were the Steelers, the Steelers, the Saints, the Falcons, and the Panthers. Those are the 4 that I considered the most. And I ultimately gave it to the Falcons because the Steelers are imploding. The Saints should have lost at home in the Dome. They struggled against a great top 10 defense against the Browns, and because they beat the other team that was left, the Panthers. So inevitably, it was more, crossing out checks on this one. It wasn't about who's playing the best. It was more about checks on a list. And who checked out on my list? It was the Falcons. They need to be better. They were great in the red zone this game, which is what they've been criticized for the past couple of years, whether it be in that 28-3 blowout that they lost, or comeback, not blowout, 28-3 comeback, or in last year's playoffs when he's been 0 for, I believe, 11 on his last targets in the red zone to Julio Jones. That needs to improve 100%. No question about it, no doubt in my mind. It has to improve. The Falcons are 15th in the league on offense, 11th in the league on defense, better than most of the teams on this list, including the Bengals, including the Patriots, including the Buccaneers, including the Vikings on defense. They're better than a lot of these teams on offense and defense. But what's here is that they need to be better in the red zone, offensively. Defensively, they're not doing bad. Like I said, they're 11th in the league, top 15, wonderful. Allowing 21 points per game, 335 yards per game, nothing wrong there. They're only averaging 21 points per game on offense. So on the flip side, you can say tie because they won one and they lost one. You can flip it and say, oh, well, I guess they're kind of tied in a sense. They need to be better in the red zone 1,000%. You need Devontae Freeman needs to be more precise when running in the red zone. Matt Ryan needs to be more precise when throwing in the red zone. Julio Jones is Julio Jones. You're not going to pin any of this on Julio Jones because Julio Jones gets open and Julio Jones fights for the 50-50s that Matt Ryan puts up there. But it's not his fault if Matt Ryan can't put the ball where it has to be. In the first game, they played. Who did they play in the first game? The Eagles. Good defense. In the second game, they played the Panthers, who had a good defensive game. Whether they're a good defense or not, who knows? But they have the best linebacker in the league, in George Kuechly. But they had the best. Yeah, they had the best linebacker in the game. So they need to be better on offense, and specifically, as I keep repeating, in the red zone, because that is their flaw right now. That is their Achilles heel right now. They can't score in the goddamn end zone. All you got to do is put the ball, cross it over. And it's really frustrating, and I can only imagine how frustrating it must be for the fans to be in this position where you have the pieces to compete. And now this year, more than ever, you have to be in tip-top because you play the Saints, you play the Panthers, and now the Buccaneers are also going to give you trouble. You have 3 teams in the same division as you who are all having possibilities as of week 2 to make the playoffs. Who's to say they all don't make the playoffs? We don't know. But as of right now, you have to assume that only one of you can make it, and if you want to make it, you got to be better in the red zone. That's the sole reason why they went number 10 on this list over the Steelers, over the Saints, over the Panthers, over the 49ers, over the Cowboys, over these other teams. That's the sole reason. And so with that, my time here today has come to a close. I just want to apologize for the technical difficulties. I don't know what was happening. I don't know why I had technical difficulties. I don't know what was happening. But the good thing is that I was able to fix it. I was able to think quick on my feet and just start another stream. I want to thank you guys for coming and watching. Francisco, Manuel, Eddie, Douglas on the previous stream. I want to thank you guys for watching. Until next week. I can't wait to see you guys next week.